This is the Module 4, Topic F review. We start with the first direction, which says to fill in the blanks to make the equation true. So we have 7/4 times 1 equals 7/4 times, and we have to find a way to make 1 that will then equal 35/20ths. So what I'm going to ask myself is 4 times what would give me 20? 4 times 5, and 7 times what would give me 35? 7 times 5 as well. And then I look at this, and 5/5 is the same thing as 1, so that makes sense. Then it says express the fractions as equivalent decimals. So the first thing I want to do is make a fraction that can be converted into decimals. Fractions to be converted into decimals need to have a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000. So I'm going to start here with 1/4, which is like 1/4. And I could do this without even doing the conversions because 1/4 out of a dollar is worth 25 cents. So it's 25 hundredths. But we're going to start here and we're going to see, can I do 4 times something? Will it equal 10? Well, 4 times nothing equals 10. So I'm going to look into 4 times something equal 100. And 4 times 25 equals 100. So it's 25 up here as well. So it would equal 25 hundredths, which is, here's my hundredths, 25 hundredths. Now I'm going to look at letter B. I'm going to try this again. Can 5 go into 10? I want to turn that into 10. That one works. 5 times what is 10? 5 times 2. So I have to do the same thing on the top. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 tenths, I can write this. Here's my decimal, tenths, and there's the 6. So now I'm going to look down under here, and I have 6/20ths. And I'm going to ask myself, I can do this 2 ways. Can I turn 20 into 10? Well, I could. I could divide by 2. And if I divide by 2, I would get 10. And then if I divide 6 by 2, I would get 3, and I could have 3 tenths. And my answer, here's tenths. But the way that most of you would probably do it is, here's my 6/20ths. I'd like to turn it into 100. 20 times what is 100? It's times 5. And this should be times 5. So that would be 30. And this time I'm going into hundreds. So 30 hundredths. And those two numbers mean the same exact thing. And the last one on this section, I have 8/25ths. And we learned from before that 25 times 4 would be 100. We learned that up above. So 8 times 4 would be 32, and I want to make 32 hundredths, so hundredths, 32 hundredths. Next section, fill in the blank to make the number sentences true and then explain how you know. Well, if I want it to be greater, I want this side to be greater than the original number, I need an improper fraction. Because if it's greater, I need a bigger number for my scaling factor. So anything from 4/3 up, I can put 4/3, I can put 5/3, I can put 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, none of it matters. Those are all improper, they'll all work. So then I look over here and I want something that's less. Here's my original number. So less means a regular fraction that's not improper and not equal to 1. So it has to be below 8/8 because 8/8 equals 1. So I can do 7/8, 6/8, 5/8, 4/8, 3/8, 2/8, any of those will work. And then down on this section, this time I want it to equal 8. To equal 8, it has to be equal to 1. And in order to make this fraction equal to 1, there's a 2 on the top. I must have a 2 on the bottom, because to be equal to 1, you must have the same number in the numerator and the denominator. Next section, we're going to fill in the blank using one of the following scaling factors to make the number sentence true. So we have 3 numbers. So first here we're going to look and we're going to be less than the original number. Less than the original number means that I need to be less than 1. And the only one that does not have a whole number of 1 is right here. So my scaling factor that should go in there is 795 thousandths. Next, I look over at B. I want something that's equal. So if it's equal, it has to be exactly 1. That would be that one. And last, yes, I can just put down the final answer, but I want to check that it makes sense first. We want it to be greater, and to be greater, it has to be greater than 1. So here's 1 with some extra. And then that makes sense. next, it says, will the product of 29 and 65 hundredths times 999 thousandths be greater or less than, this is the number, will it be greater or less? And it says to do it without calculating. Well, it will be less because 999 thousandths is less than 1. And there's the review for the topic F quiz.